Hey guys, welcome to Trinity Football League Week 11. Hope everyone is ready for this week's matchups. We are coming down the home stretch now for sure. The last 3 weeks of our regular season, and we've got people fighting for playoff spots. We've got 8 teams with a record of 5-5 or more that are just scraping and clawing and trying to get into that final 6 that will make our playoffs. So we had some great wins last week, some great matchups last week, some great scoring, some historic scoring as far as the Trinity Football League is concerned. Just to let you know that I'm sure that everybody has noticed that Mike Vick scored 100, scored 62 points last week, which is a Trinity Football League record. The previous record was held by Jerome Harrison a couple years ago, playing for the Cleveland Browns, scored 50 points for an honor last, and Mike Vick shattered that record with a 62-point effort on Monday night. Don't know if you guys watched it. I watched every second of it until they took him out. That was just a wonderful, jaw-dropping performance by Mike Vick. It overshadowed other great performances. Matt Castle's 47 for L-Town Beatdown and Tom Brady's 42 for the Ligers were others that were just great performances that were very notable, but just overshadowed by Mike Vick's 62. Don't think he'll do that for me again this season, but I'll take something close to that. In the 40s would be nice every week and until the end of the season. I would definitely take that. But anyway, some other things that happened. Archdale Intimidators scoring 153 points. I had to go back and look in our history to look this up to see how this stood up with some other scores that we've had in the past. And this actually is a tie with Sean and Ian both scoring 153 points on separate weeks in year number 1. So this ties those two performances in year 1. And Archdale Intimidators become the 3rd team in our history to score 153 points. So congratulations to him. Of course, he's our Top Dog Award winner for the week. Other award winners this week were the Lucky Dog Award goes to L-Town Beatdown, who scored 91 points, the most points for, or the least points for a winning team, in picking up their 2nd victory. Congratulations to Chris on that award. The Tough Break Award goes to Thomasville Jokers, who had the unfortunate job of having to play Archdale Intimidators this week. So sorry, Dwight, but you get our Tough Break Award for scoring 95 points and getting the loss. Some big scores all around last week. 5 different teams scored 100 points or more. I thought I did pretty well with my 131 until Archdale put up that 153-point total. And the Donkey Award, unfortunately, goes to Michael Sirianni and the Italian Stallions for only 59 points this past week. And if you recall, the week before, he was an honorable mention for the top dog because he was only 1 point away from getting the Top Dog Award. So he really took a slide this week down to only 59 points. Last week, my record was 4-2. That makes me 36-24 for the year. So I made a little bit of a comeback. So hopefully I can keep that momentum going forward and can be right on most of these. I hope so anyway. All right, let's see here. Let's get into the matchups this week. We got some good ones. I'm going to start out with the Fairgrove Mad Dogs, my Fairgrove Mad Dogs against Michael's Italian Stallions. This one really does have playoff implications for Division 1. I'm 6-4, 1 game ahead of Mikey, who is 5-5. And if I can get the victory this week, that will give me a 2-game lead in my division with 2 to play, and I'd feel a whole lot better about my playoff chances. And I believe I can get him this week with Michael Vick. If he can get anywhere close, heck, half a 62 is 31. That's a pretty good week for a quarterback. I'd even take that. With Jamal Charles having a good matchup, Chris Johnson, Hakeem Nicks, I feel like I can take the Italian Stallions this week. All right, this next matchup, the Sophia Slawcats, Paul's team, versus the Thomasville Jokers. Even though this is a matchup of the two bottom teams in Division III. Sophia Slawcats have a 6-4 record, and the Thomasville Jokers are 5-5, and they're right. Both of them are right in the middle of the playoff hunt. A win by the Jokers would just throw everything into a tailspin as far as who would be getting that 5th and 6th playoff spot. And it looks like, though, that Sophia Slawcats have got everybody coming back. Things are looking good for them. They got 3 great wide receivers, LaShawn McCoy, Eli Manning, as good as Mike Vick looked. That Philadelphia defense can be thrown upon, and it might be a shootout in Philly for Eli and Vick. So I think that the Sophia Slawcats will take the measure of the Jokers this week, but it will not be easy for the Slawcats by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, all 4 teams in Division III are going to have tough matchups from here on out, and they could be beating up on one another for the next 3 weeks. The next matchup is Craig's Trinity War Dogs versus the Westover Wallaroos of Rob Hicks. Craig has already stated in the message board that he plans on winning out and getting right in the race for the last playoff spot, and I don't doubt him one bit that he has the ability to do that. Hopefully I'll have something to say about that in Week 13, but anyway, we're in Week 11. Let's talk about that matchup. I think that with the weapons that the War Dogs have, Phillip Rivers, Percy Harvin, Deshaun Jackson, Mike Wallace, I think that the War Dogs have set themselves up pretty nicely for the end of the year, and that they will take the Wallaroos this week and keep their playoff hopes alive. So I predict a War Dog victory this week. I'm sure Craig will be happy for that. And just as on a side note about the Michael Vick thing, I know I'll probably beat it to death, but I'm definitely excited about having Vick on my team. But just as a side note, everybody knows Michael Vick's situation. They know why he was out of football for a couple years. We won't even go into it. We know Mike Vick's situation and what he was caught doing. Well, I think it's awfully coincidental that the 2 teams that have had Mike Vick on their roster this year are the War Dogs and the Mad Dogs. I'm going to leave it at that, just saying. Okay, on with the next matchup. This is the matchup of the week. The fight for the division lead in Division III. Seagrove's Shake and Bake, 7-3. Ian's team versus Dustin's Welch's T-Ville Ligers, who are also at 7-3. These are 2 teams that are actually going in opposite directions of one another. The Shake and Bake have lost 2 in a row after winning 7, and the T-Ville Ligers are on a real roll. They are on a 4-game winning streak. Well, I'm predicting that both of these streaks are going to end. The Seagrove Shake and Bake are going to get off their 2-game losing streak and beat the T-Ville Ligers this week, but it won't be easy. It will be a very close matchup, but I believe that the Shake and Bake just have too much for the Ligers. So I'm looking for a Shake and Bake victory. The next one we have is another big matchup, and LA Avengers versus Craven Pines Soaring Condors. Jamie's team versus Sean. Sean has been the hard luck guy this year, going up against several high scores, and they have a very good team, a whole lot better team than their 3-7 record would indicate. And I believe that in this division with the Avengers and the Intimidators, that they're going to be the spoiler in this group. And I look for the Craven Pines Soaring Condors to start their spoiler effort this week by beating the LA Avengers. I believe that Peyton Manning has a little bit of a problem with that offense because they have so many injuries. They've had so many wide receivers to go down. He doesn't have enough guys to throw to right now. And Antonio Gates is 50-50 as whether he starts. And if you've looked, the LA Avengers started out real strong, 4-0 at the beginning of the season. They were just white hot, but have seen their points kind of go down over the course of the season. And that's not what you want in fantasy. You want to start out kind of medium and then work your way up. So LA Avengers team is not going in the right direction as far as I'm concerned, and they could be in jeopardy of missing the playoffs unless they can right this ship. But I believe Craven Pines, Soaring Condors have some good matchups for their players this week, and that they will take the measure of the Avengers. So we'll see how that turns out. That should be another good matchup that we keep our eye on. The last matchup, Archdale Intimidators versus L-Town Beatdown. Congratulations to Chris for his win, his second victory of the year. But he's not going to get rewarded for that victory. It's going to be short-lived. The Archdale Intimidators are just too strong. They're just about too strong for anyone. And they have no holes in their roster whatsoever and will handily beat the Beatdown this week. All right, that's all I have for this week. Everybody remember to set your lineups. Enjoy the games this weekend. We'll talk to you down the road.